honorable guests, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, good morning. I'm very much honored to welcome you to the 16th session of the General Conference. I'm also particularly happy to welcome the accession of the new member states, the Marshall Islands, to UNIDO. Let us give them a big applause. Here, I would also like to highly commend the outgoing president, the ambassador of Peru, Mr. Alfredo Shudhura, for his great contribution, and extend warm welcome to the incoming president, ambassador of Austria, and Ms. Christine Stix-Hackel, and her team. With the guidance received from you, member states, UNIDO has been able to navigate through uncharted waters and sail safely and with a reinvigorated spirit towards new opportunities ahead. I would therefore to begin my statement this morning with a brief stocktake of what has been achieved since Lima, our last General Conference, in our quest towards inclusive and sustainable industrial development, or ISRD. As you well recall, soon after Lima, I decided to operationalize ISRD by establishing 3 specific objectives at the policy, operations, and management levels. At the policy level, I set the objective of anchoring ISRD firmly in the new post-2015 development agenda being formulated by international community. At the operational level, my objective was to align our technical, analytical, and normative operations with Lima Declaration towards ISRD. And at the management level, I wanted to further improve our systems, structures, and processes to become fit for purpose in this new area of global development. Under your guidance, we have worked hard. We have strengthened our partnerships. We have been innovative. And I'm pleased that we have achieved considerable success in meeting all of these objectives despite very limited, my colleagues, very limited resources and great uncertainties happen here and there. Taking the policy objectives of anchoring our mandate in the post-2015 framework, in September this year, General Assembly adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development at the UN Summit on Sustainable Development. This agenda will guide all of our development efforts over the next 15 years, and we are highly satisfied with its provisions. ISRD is fully recognized in new agenda and is prioritized as one of the main drivers for development, finance, and stability. Sustainable Development Goals 9, SDG 9, spells out our importance of ISRD, but we can also see the significance of ISRD for all the SDGs. I have provided you with a brochure highlighting this important nexus between industry and SDGs. On this universal basis, UNIDO will play a crucial role in supporting countries to move towards a higher degree of economic growth, social inclusiveness, and environmental sustainability. This is a powerful mandate, colleagues, recognized by UN members and the broader UN system and the private sector and all stakeholders at large. We now have the responsibility, a noble responsibility to rapidly advance ISID. This is why we have fine-tuned our strategic plans, sharpened our technical cooperation approaches, and strengthened our normative and policy advice role. And we have let the world know our commitment to contribute effectively to this new development agenda. At the margins of the third International Conference on Financing for Development last July, we successfully organized the third ISID Forum on fostering partnerships for financing industrial development. The forum attracted a high-profile list of speakers and around 400 participants from over 70 countries. The speakers including Prime Minister of Ethiopia, the Minister of Economy, Finance, Planning of Senegal, the Secretary General, Mr. Bakimon of the United Nations, the President, Dr. King of the World Bank, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Dr. Zuma, Executive Secretary of UN Commission for Africa. The meeting recognized the importance of ISID for prosperity and poverty eradication. UNIDO was widely seen as a crucial partner in this context and received strong political support from the international community. At the Sustainable Development Summit in September, we co-organized a high-level event in New York on the operationalizing of 2030 Agenda for Africa's industrialization, together with the African Union Commission, Economic Commission of Africa, and Office of the Special Advisor on Africa. It was attended by a large number of dignitaries, including the President of Benin, President of Nigeria and Zambia, and the Prime Ministers of Ethiopia and Lesotho. The Secretary General also sent a strong message, very strong message of support. This meeting concludes with a very important signal. With the signing of the important joint communiqué, which calls for the United Nations General Assembly to declare a new decade of African industrialization, 2016-2025. Distinguished delegate, with the adoption of 2030 agenda, ISID become more relevant than ever. We must now work to scale up our efforts to support our member states as they strive towards achievement of this objective. But this cannot be done by the Secretariat alone. Despite the hard work of all UNIDO staff and the increasingly challenging circumstances, it will also require your leadership. The same strong leadership that led to the Lima Declaration. We have ISID, the same strong leadership that led to the full recognition of UNIDO's mandate in the new overarching development framework of the global community, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The same leadership will be required during this General Conference for the implementation and the follow-up of the review of the new agenda. As reported in document GC.16/7, the follow-up and the review architecture of the 2030 Agenda foresees various levels of the reporting to the high-level political forum, including global thematic reviews. Further guidance on the issue will shortly be provided by an important report of the Secretary General in January next year. Just 2 weeks ago, I participated in 3 inter-agency meetings at the principals level in New York and a full meeting of the UN Chief Executive Board, a retreat of the UN Development Group, and a meeting of the Executive Committee on Economic and Social Affairs. In fact, the meeting of the Executive Committee was chaired by Under-Secretary General for Economic and Social Affairs, Mr. Wu Hongbo, whose presence in the audience I have the honor to acknowledge today. And thank you, Mr. Under-Secretary General, for taking part in our General Conference. The objective of all these meetings was to discuss ways in which the UN can support ambitious processes for implementation, follow-up and a review of the 2030 agenda at the national, regional, and the international levels. And we also considered how to fully exploit the comparative advantage of UN system as a whole and of each of its agencies. Since then, I'm convinced that UNIDO is well positioned as a reference organization for inclusive and sustainable industrialization to take a leading role in promoting the implementation, supporting the follow-up and the review mechanism for the achievement of SDG 9 and other industrial-related goals and targets. And for this, I call upon you, the member state, to consider the creation of a working group to define the terms of reference for a review mechanism that will allow UNIDO to play its intended role in the global architecture. I will work closely with you and with other international organizations and stakeholders to determine how we can contribute most effectively to these intergovernmental processes. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me now come to a second operational objective I have set for our organization, that of aligning all our service to ISRD and now to the 2030 agenda, and of meeting the diversified needs of our member states. Many decisive steps have been taken to achieve this objective. As we take a snapshot of what we have accomplished so far, we can be proud of our achievements. We have fully updated UNIDO's strategy to deliver on SDGs, in particular SDG 9. We have designed a strategic framework for next 4 years. Next 4 years, the medium-term program framework, MTPF 2016-2019, which already in full alignment with 2030 agenda and provides the strategic framework for all of our programs. Our thematic priorities rightly reflect the 3 dimensions of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental. This framework fully prepares us to deliver on a universal, comprehensive, and holistic interrelated set of SDGs through inclusive and sustainable industrial development. Operationally, UNIDO is continuing to increase the impact of its activities. We have also made further progress on following integrated and holistic approach to our service delivery. For example, by mainstreaming even stricter criteria for gender equality, social inclusiveness, and environmental sustainability in all our programs. And document GC Part 16/7 reports to main elements of the considerable progress we made in our operations. I really would like to report to all of you, our stakeholder, the 2014 and the 2015 implementation level reached over $170 million US. It has been quite relatively high. Let me highlight 2 priority areas in our technical cooperation activity in this context: partnership and impact. With regard to the partnership, UNIDO has expanded its efforts to engage as many relevant partners as possible in its technical cooperation programs. Such partnerships need to be relevant to context-specific national priorities, and also to be adequately supported by a variety of financing models and industrial policies. To achieve this, we reached out and established close ties with various prestigious institutions from the public sector, financial, civil society, academia, and especially the private sector. With regard to our expanding ties with academia, it is particularly a great honor for me that the Nobel Prize-winning economist, my respected Professor Joseph Stiglitz, has agreed to join us and deliver the keynote speech for this General Conference. Thank you very much indeed, Professor. With this financial technology innovative capacities, the private sector represents a particularly important potential contributor to the achievement of inclusive sustainable industrial development. This is why I'm placing great emphasis on engaging with private firms and industrial associations as we move ahead with our work. At the same time, we are also seeking to enhance the impact of our services. The new generation of UNIDO technical cooperation programs aims at effectively trigger an industrialization process with a tangible results and ultimately a larger development impact. We intend to further intensify our efforts in this direction and to considerably scale up the impact of our activities by enhancing our normative and policy advisory services and creating more effective linkage and synergies between these services and our technical cooperation programs. The Program for Country Partnership, or PCP, which was initiated on a pilot basis in Ethiopia and Senegal in November 2014, is a unique and highly recognized initiative to exemplify this quest for partnership-based, innovative, and high-impact solutions to accelerate the implementation of ISID. Indeed, colleagues, it has been seen within the United Nations system as an outstanding example of how such a partnership-based model of development or cooperation may be deployed for the broader implementation of 2030 agenda. This premise of the new partnership approach is the UNIDO need to progressively become a coordinator and a broker and a policy advisor on industrial-related matters for all our partners, governments, the private sector, international organizations, and development financial institutions. Only through these partnerships will we have a truly catalytic effect and an enhanced impact on the industrial development of our member states. And success of the pilot phase of the PCPs confirms the UNIDO has embarked in the right direction. And after a year of implementation, significant results have already been achieved. These will be presented to you in the fourth ISD Forum, which will be held within the framework of the General Conference. The integration of country workshop, ownership, industrial policy alignment, and the partnership, result-based partnership approach is proving a successful strategy to attract investment needs to realize ISID. Based on this, we are now decided to expand the program to a third country. Ministers, Excellency, colleagues, I will report to you Peru. This experience will demonstrate for the first time the PCP methodology or approach in the middle-income country, a country with per capita income around $7,000 per capita. And we really would like to move ahead with this operation. Welcome the high demand for our PCP services from many countries, from our member states. However, in the current inception phase of this new methodology, we need to prioritize and select a limited number of pilot countries. We need to test, experiment, and learn about the best practices and the policies before we initiate a broader rollout, and I will explore the best options to move forward with other PCP pilots in the times ahead, over the long run, foresees that the PCP approach, now as an innovative approach, will become the basis for all our country programs. It is clear that much has been achieved, but our work has only started. We must further fine-tune our services, provide even better products, better services, and more innovation. We must make sure that ISD becomes a reality in our countries. Distinguished delegates, let me turn my third objective: further improve our systems and management processes. Document GC point 16/6 provides you with a proposed field policy action plan. In October, I gave the short briefings to the chairs of regional group regarding this plan. A broad set of criteria will guide the selection of future field locations. The plan considers existing field capacities, streamlines resources, and ensures a continued strong country presence. Recognizing the universality of the new 2030 agenda, UNIDO will increasingly seek to embed SDG, and especially Goal 9, into programs developed at the regional, sub-regional, and national level. This will require effective field network. A strong field network is also required for our continued engagement in the delivery as one initiative by ensuring the participation of UNIDO's representatives in UN country team and the regional mechanisms. I therefore assure you that I consider field network as essential for our effectiveness in our interaction with government, local partners, and stakeholders. This interaction is an indispensable requirement of continuing a smooth implementation of our technical cooperation activities and for effectively positioning UNIDO at the country and the regional level. The field policy action will be implemented in a phased manner in full consultation with respective member states to ensure a gradual transition and a balanced regional approach. Another important initiative is organization-wide transparency initiative that we launched at the last session of the PBC in May. It will significantly increase the transparency of our technical cooperation activities and support services. As part of this initiative, we have developed a dedicated open data platform, which is now accessible for all stakeholders. This platform, colleagues, this platform includes not only financial data, but also a variety of program-related informations. And not only just those information, also this is complemented by associated documents, reports, and key information on donors. And during this conference, the platform is presented in 2 exhibition areas outside this conference room, and which you are cordially invited to visit. How powerful our transparency system is. In the future, this platform will also be interface. We can use website for a new results monitoring system fully aligned with results framework presented in the medium-term program framework. As a final point on the management issue, I would like to inform you as an information that Vienna-based organization of VBO have recently reached an agreement with the Federal Republic of Austria, whereby Austria will contribute to a funding of an educational institution providing schooling places for children of officials of VBO and of the diplomatic consular corps. This educational amount will be allocated to Vienna International School under the terms of Memorandum of Understanding and also recently concluded between the VBOs. This agreement will be submitted to the IDB in 2016 and a conference in 2017 to bring it into force of UNIDO. Distinguished delegate, Having provided you with an overview of the outcome of 3 major policy operational management objectives I had set for the organization following adoption of Lima Declarations 2 years ago, I would now like to turn to some of the specific items on the agenda of this General Conference. Indeed, during this conference, you will have a challenge list of items before you. One of the items is particularly close to my heart, very close to my heart: gender equality and the empowerment of women. Our gender policy rightly recognizes the significant positive impact of gender equality on inclusive and sustainable industrial development, poverty reduction, social integration, and environmental sustainability. At this General Conference, we are presenting a new strategy to you that will help us implement our gender policy over the period of the MTPM. This strategy is based on a multi-track approach. First, we will make gender an integral dimension of all UNIDO programs, policies, and practices. Second, we will engage in more gender-specific interventions, including women's economic empowerment programs with the objective of allowing for equal preparation and benefit from our development efforts. Third, we will build a strong partnership with UN agencies like UN Women and other relevant organizations in the UN system and beyond to promote gender equality and women's empowerment in UNIDO's country programs and convening activities. In this connection, I'm also very pleased to announce the appointment of Mr. Jan van Scherland, Chief Executive Officer of Norwegian garment manufacturing company, Janus Fabrica AS, as UNIDO's Goodwill Ambassador for Manufacturing. In this capacity, and based on her extensive successful experience as an entrepreneur in the manufacturing sector, Ms. Scherland will champion UNIDO's mandate of inclusive sustainable industrial development. In particular, will support our work to promote women entrepreneurship. 20 years after World Conference on Women in Beijing, we cannot wait any longer. I'm determined for UNIDO to make a strong contribution to the goal of achieving gender equality and to empowering all women and girls by 2030. I count on you, the member state, to support me in this important endeavor. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, an important feature of this session of General Conference is our second donor meeting, which will be held tomorrow morning after the high level of the interest generated by UNIDO first ever meeting of this kind last year. I decided to integrate this year's second meeting into the agenda of our conference. This meeting is intended to serve 2 purposes. The first is to highlight effectiveness of UNIDO technical assistance interventions and additional value that donors receive for resources, and they invest in our project through the UNIDO's expertise and services. This will be demonstrated through a representative selection of 6 projects. 6 projects covering all thematic areas of work and all regions of the world. The second purpose is to show our appreciation to our donors. The interest of the donor community in UNIDO services has increased steadily over the past decade. Voluntary contribution received from our donors reached the second highest level ever in 2014, and also when they were 110% higher than in the years 2000. And the 4-year figure for 2015 is expected to little bit over the 2014. This is a very encouraging situation. No less than 60 donor countries provide us with funding for the delivery of services in technical cooperation, research, or global forum activities. This strong support from not only existing traditional donors, but also emerging new donors strengthens me in my belief that UNIDO is on the right track. And I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our donors for their continuing and indeed growing support. In this connection, I really would like to address a particularly warm word of thanks to our host country, Mr. President, your country, for its strong commitment to our organization, and which has shown itself in Austria's strong support as one of the largest donors for a wide range of UNIDO activities. And in particular, I would like to mention one important initiative by your government. Mr. President, the establishment of the regional renewable energy centers around the globe and the hosting of the biannual Vienna Energy Forum. Those are great successful examples of the donors' contribution. I really foreseeing the renewable energy centers, the first of this kind established in Barbados in the Caribbean region, will be a good example for the international community move ahead with climate change challenges. And now I'm very, very happy this commitment is most vividly underlined by presence of His Excellency President Heinz Fischer and among us today. Excellency, I thank you so much for Austria's unflinching support and for your having taken this precious time to join us this morning. I really feel great honor indeed. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, another important issue that I would like to briefly touch upon is the 21st Conference of Parties of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, or COP21. I believe that all of you already watched the opening of this meeting. The news gave us a great strength at the beginning. This conference, which is also now the third major international conference to be held this year, actually it's already started now, and will complete the deliberations for 2030 agenda. UNIDO will lead several events at this conference, many of which will be undertaken on behalf of the whole UN system. And we will show UNIDO's solutions regarding climate resilient industrialization. And we will discuss the need to leverage private investment to transform our industrial technology toward more resilient and sustainable pattern. We sincerely hope that the COP21 will reach a binding agreement to curb global greenhouse gas emissions and stabilize the global temperature rise at the end of the century below, I heard, if I'm right, it's 1.5 degree, not 2 degree, but I guess there's a number there. And below 2 degrees Celsius. We will continue and strengthen our technical cooperation services in the field of the renewable energy, energy efficiency, and the cleaner production, and our convening function through the cleaner green industrial platform, the Global Manufacturing Industrial Summit initiative that we have launched with the strong support of the United Arab Emirates. Distinguished delegates, it is said that climate change would create millions of climate refugees. However, we are already amidst one of the most significant migration emergencies for decades, with the world facing the largest crisis for of forced displacement since the Second World War, I joined the UN Secretary General in calling upon you, the member states of UNIDO, to meet this immense challenge without lessening your commitment to the vitally needed official development assistance. To mitigate this crisis, economic social stabilization needs to be advanced quickly and emergently. A holistic approach to development must be adopted to prevent further humanitarian disasters and tragedies. While the humanitarian support is required to alleviate immediate human sufferings, a long-term solution can only lie in the implementation of sustained integrated development efforts along the lines given in the 2030 Agenda. UNIDO has been engaged for many years to help overcome the systemic root causes of migration through effective measures, create employment, income opportunities. These measures have included our various programs to support entrepreneurs, agro-industries, SMEs, and industry-related institutions, to mention just a few. We have also given particular emphasis to support the creation of decent jobs for youth, to give them a perspective for the future and perspective for a life in dignity. In all countries, least developed countries, middle-income countries, and even high-income countries. Advancing peaceful and stable societies requires opportunities and prosperity for all. ISID is therefore a major contributor for stability, prosperity, and peace. This is why I plead to you, our member states, to increase your investment in our important work towards ISID. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, next year will mark 50th anniversary of UNIDO. Our mandate is more essential than ever. Over the years, we have connected the markets through the global value chains. We have created successful initiatives and platforms to advance sustainability and inclusiveness in industries worldwide. We have created opportunity for millions and to improve their lives and livelihood. And UNIDO has always stood for an inclusive and sustainable pattern of globalization. After 50 years, we stand again solidly at a critical juncture with a clear mandate, direct responsibility for the achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. As our journey processes, colleagues, we will continue to cruise at full steam ahead with a clear direction, efficient implementation, strong partnerships, and a continuous innovation. More than ever, I will rely on your leadership, your guidance, your support as we continue to sail into these uncharted and challenging seas. Together with you, our member states, we will achieve the important global goals ahead of us. Thank you. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you very much.